Hey, what's up? I'm Norris and welcome back to another sew along. Now, whenever you see me, just know your girl Mimi G is busy and I'm filling in to work out her new Simplicity pattern, which is 3010. And today we'll be working on view A, the cardigan. Now, if you're new to sewing, I just want to ease back into it. You can always visit sewacademy.com. Once you get to the site, you can go ahead and take advantage of our free trial. Okay, now let's get started. Okay, once again, we're working on Mimi G's Simplicity pattern 3010, and we will be doing view A, which is the cardigan. Once again, if you look on the back, you'll see all the fabric recommendations, the notions. You need 3 3/4 of an inch buttons for this particular one. And always remember, go down to finished garment measurement to see what that finished cardigan is going to be. And it'll help you figure out what size to cut. Okay? Now let's go through all the pattern pieces that we're going to need for this particular project. Okay, you're going to need pattern piece number 5, which is the sleeve. Cut 2 out of your fabric. Pattern piece number 1, which is your front, you want to cut 2 out of fabric. Pattern piece number 2, you want to cut 1 on the fold, as you can see right here. Pattern piece number 7, this is your front and back band. You want to cut 2 of these out of your fabric. And then pattern piece number 8, this is only interfacing. Now the interface is going to go on the portion where you see the buttonholes on the end, not where the notch is right here. Pattern piece number 3, this is your front band. You want to cut 2 out of fabric. Pattern piece number 4, this is your back band. You want to cut 1 on the fold, which is here. And then last but not least, we have the sleeve band. You want to cut 2 of these out of your fabric. Okay, once you cut all of your fabric out and interface the correct piece, we can begin order of construction. Okay, first things first, you want to grab your back piece and then your front pieces. And we're right sides facing, we're going to pin at the shoulders. Okay, so let's head to the machine. We're going to stitch across both shoulders using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. You want to stitch your other shoulder the same exact way. We're back for the machine. The shoulders are attached, and I went ahead and cleaned my seam on the serger. If you have a serger, you can clean it out too, or do a zigzag stitch, or use peek and shears. And I went ahead and pressed that seam towards the back piece. Now we're going to go ahead and attach our sleeve. There should be notches. You want to connect those. You want to pin your other sleeve the same way. We're going to head to the machine and stitch all the way across using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. You want to stitch your other sleeve the same exact way. Okay, as you can see, the sleeves are on and they're right sides facing. We're just going to fold it onto itself, and you see it creating the sleeve and the side seam all in one. So go ahead and pin. Remember to match up that seam. Okay, you want to pin the other side seam the same exact way. And we're going to start at the hem and go all the way till you get to the hem of your sleeve. And once you do that, come back and we'll continue. Okay, so we're back from the machine. As you can see, we have our seams pressed. I press them towards the back. And right now we're going to put this to the side for just a moment. We're going to work on our band. So you have the back band cut on the fold. You want to take your front band and match up the notches on the side and pin. Okay, so head to the machine, and we're just going to stitch across both sides using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Now press your seams open. Okay, so we're back from the machine. As you can see, I pressed the seams open, and what we're going to do is we're just going to fold it onto itself. Just like this. Now you can give this a good press, or you can just base the side and then also along the open edge just to keep it in place. But I'm going to give this a good press, and then we can attach it to our cardigan. Okay, so I turned the cardigan upside down, and we're looking at the hem of the cardigan here. So now the band, you just want to match up the seams, and we're going to pin across. And it should be right even with the center front. Okay, so let's head to the machine. We're gonna stitch, starting on one side, going all the way across to the other end. And we'll be using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, so we're back from the machine. We attached our waistband and I cleaned off my seams and pressed them up. Now we're gonna go ahead and work on our front and back band. And this is gonna take shape of the collar. So the right side's facing where the notches are. We're going to pin along the short end and we're gonna stitch across. Now remember, this is not the side where the interfacing is. It's the opposite side with the double notch, okay? So head to the machine, stitch across using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, come back and we'll continue. Okay, so we're back from the machine. As you can see, I pressed that seam open. And then on this side here, I went ahead and finished it off on my serger. And then now we're going to go ahead and pin it around this portion of the cardigan. Remember to match up all of your notches. And remember, at the hem, it's going to extend 5/8 of an inch. So right where your marking is, that's where the end of the band should be. Okay, let's head to the machine and we're going to stitch starting on one end and going all the way across to the other end. We'll be using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, so we're back from the machine. You want to go ahead and trim down that seam allowance just a bit and press it towards the band. And then now on the ends, what we're going to do is we're going to go right sides facing, and you want that other edge to extend just past that seam allowance, just under 1/4 inch. You don't want to do too much. And then we're just going to pin. Okay, head to the machine and then stitch across using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance on both sides. Okay, we're back from the machine. We have this stitch down, and you just want to trim just a tad bit, not too much, and then just a little on that corner. And then now we're going to grab our point turner and turn that right side out. Now as you can see, this side here is just past that seam, so when we stitch to the ditch, it'll catch on the inside. Okay, now you want to head to your pressing table and give this a really good press, and then you want to continue folding it in half, making sure that you keep it just past the seam allowance all the way through the neckline and then down the other side. Fold it at the fold line and give it a good press. Okay, as you can see, I went ahead and folded it and gave it a good press. And then on this side, I pinned right in the center, catching the other end. So when we stitch to the ditch, everything will stay aligned, okay? So let's head to the machine and we're going to start on one end and go all the way through until we get to the other side. We're going to stitch right in the center seam, which is called stitch in the ditch. Okay, so we're back from the machine. As you can see, I went ahead and stitched in the ditch, and it gives a real clean finish on the inside. So now we're going to go ahead and work on our cuffs. So you want to turn them right sides facing like this. I give it a pin, and we're just going to stitch all the way across using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, you want to go ahead and press that seam open, and then once you do that, you want to fold it onto itself, wrong sides facing. And then now we're just going to slide it up under our sleeve hem, making sure that we keep those seams matching up. We're going to pin. Now they're supposed to snap on, so you want to kind of pull a bit as we pin. Okay, so now let's head over to the machine and we're going to stitch all the way around using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. So go ahead and clean your seams, and you want to pin and sew your other cuff the same exact way and press your seams towards the sleeve. Okay, so we're back from the machine. As you can see, I went ahead and cleaned that seam off. Now, if you're dealing with a fabric that don't stretch as much for your cuff to fit onto the hem of the sleeve, you can do 2 rows of basting stitches on the hem of your sleeve and ease it in until it fit just a bit, and that'll be helpful. Now fold it out, and once again, you want to press that seam towards your sleeve. Okay, last thing we have to do, you want to place your buttonholes on the left side, which is on the right here. And the best way to do that, if you don't have the markings, you can go ahead and remove that seam allowance at the bottom, and then place this right in the center, and then put your markings here. Now follow your manual on your machine because most buttonholes are different depending on what kind of model you're using. And once you do that, add your buttons on the other side and you're all done. All right, congratulations, you're all done. Now I hope you enjoyed this sew along, and remember to always tag Mimi at Mimi G Style. And if you want to tag me on this particular project, you can tag me at Norris Danta 4, and we will see you in the next sew along.